o'clock right now, and of course, you probably saw a little bit ago. Today, you can celebrate the day. It is National Fresh Veggie Day today, which I'm sure makes Sheree Clark from Fork in the Road real happy. You know, Sheree's always telling us we should go out to farmers market and try some of the veggies that are out there. Maybe some things you haven't tried before. You know, might as well experiment.
Right.
And this is the time of year when you can start experimenting with some of these things, isn't it?
It's definitely the time of year, and it's so funny when I brought the goodies on the set, and you guys were asking me, well, is that guacamole and is that bean dip?
Yeah, this looks interesting. Here, I do have to give you credit for that because every time we guessed at what it was, she goes, nope, nope.
It looks like one thing, but you're completely doing
a theme here.
A theme, right.
And the theme is garlic, but not like you think. Okay, so most people are familiar with garlic. This is a garlic clove.
Clove, right.
And cloves are the single things that you end up using most of the time in a recipe. You know, you'll separate them from the bulb. And the bulb is, you know, so you break this open and the cloves are inside. What people don't realize is that at a certain time of year, what's available for purchase is garlic scapes.
Scapes?
And what these are is if you were, and they were still in the ground, this would be the garlic scape.
So the garlic leaf.
It's the flowering garlic part. And so you buy them like this.
Really?
Those are really pretty.
I've never even seen these.
Isn't that cool? So, well, and they have a very short season. And that season is right now.
Is that like a
chive?
Yeah, like a chive?
Very much like a chive.
Okay.
Yep. Think of it like a chive, or like, or yeah,
scallion
like
top?
a scallion. Exactly.
Okay.
And
so, what part of that do we use of the spindly thing?
Great question. So what you do is you take this, and this is called the flowering part. You cut that off.
Okay.
So you would cut it. And then this is what's left. This
Well,
is
you
the
don't take the
scape.
top part. Okay.
Yeah, you do, I just compost these.
Okay, so that's kind of the curly Q is what you want.
Yep, and because this is a little bit woodier, so and you could probably use it, but I don't. I mean, why would you? This is the nice part. So then you can chop it up, and you can use it. The simplest way to use it is just simply to use it raw. Think of it like instead of chives or instead of green onions. So on top of a baked potato would be really nice, and it's got a definite garlic. Well, you can smell it. You can tell it's definitely garlicky.
So yeah, I was gonna say, how are we compared to what we're used to with the cloves? Is it strong garlic? Is it a softer garlic?
It's softer, but
Softer.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't, not as harsh.
But it's definitely
it's not
garlic.
as hot either.
Yeah.
But remember, most people don't pop one of these in their mouth unless you're
throw it
getting
on the
sick.
grill. It's amazing.
It is great. But if you're getting sick, actually, this is kind of a side, but you could eat these. They're really actually quite helpful if you're coming down with the cold in the wintertime. But we're back to the summer. So so if you're going to buy these, buy them now. Because if you wait until July, they're going to be gone. So they're very seasonal and they're peak
and
of
available
harvest.
at farmers markets.
Available at farmers markets, and I bought mine from Grade A Farms, and so there's not at every farmer, only the garlic farmers have them. Grade A had an abundance of them, so I bought an abundance of them. And
average price?
They're a couple dollars for.
And how long will those last?
That's the other good part. They last a long time.
Oh, good.
You just got to take care of them. So what I do is I'll cut off the flowering part, then I put them in a paper bag and put it in the crisper drawer.
Paper bag?
Paper bag. I've used plastic too, but I think paper seems to breathe a little better and gives it a little bit longer life.
Okay.
And then it'll last weeks. So that's great.
Nice.
Now, do you use those blue apples or any of those devices?
I do. The blue eggs I do, and then there's a little green dial also. Yeah, those seem to help as well. And I also have a berry breeze. I'm fresh produce.
You want to make them last as long as possible.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have these wonderful garlic scapes. Now, besides just chopping them up and putting them on a baked potato, what in the world can we do with these things?
Well, I made you a selection of goodies here. So the first thing is a soup, and the soup is the soup. Yes, so you can try that. Gave you a little spoon.
Okay.
And the soup is a
You know, they say soup is good food.
It's great food. Good.
And it's a cold soup.
It's a cold soup, and it's a creamy mushroom.
This is mushrooms?
It's mushrooms and garlic scapes.
Looks like
That's it?
clay and water.
Mushrooms, garlic, thank you. Mushrooms, garlic scapes, and cashews, because that's what the creamy comes from. Isn't that good?
I was going to say, something creamy in there. Okay.
Yep.
That's different.
That's different.
That's different.
That's like she's got a nice personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You want some more, Jackie?
Well, I'm not a huge mushroom person, but this isn't an overwhelming mushroom flavor.
Right.
But it does have a little bit of the kick of the garlic, which I do enjoy. But very refreshing for summertime, I will say.
And the key here is to really remind people that it's not just to be stuck on using. Most people make garlic scape pesto, which I did make here for you today as well. But remember, they are used. You can use them for other things. So branch out. They'd be
Right.
great in a dressing. Anything that you're using
yeah.
garlic for, you can swap out
can
and
swap
use
out with
scapes.
this.
It'll
That's
give it a little bit.
I never even heard of those. I'm going to try those.
I actually don't mind
Okay,
those.
They're great.
So what else do you have on here?
Okay, so then I've got in the bok choy, in the baby bok choy.
Right, which is here.
Yes, that is a garlic scape pesto that I made, and I want it to be a little bit traditional and a little bit maverick. So there is basil in it, but I also put balsamic vinegar in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I used a blueberry balsamic. One, because that's all I had, and two, I thought maybe a little sweetness would be interesting.
All right.
So give that a whirl. And
And
then
what is this called? This is called a baby.
That's a baby bok choy.
Bok choy.
Yep.
This is good.
Isn't that good? Mm-hmm. I love that. So
That bok choy really gives it some flavor. too.
yes, and crunch, and it gets some greenery in, and you can eat all ends of it. Sometimes you can fold that top over if you wanted to, whatever. I love bok choy. It's really good, really crunchy.
Nice alternative than to always using like celery or something. Like
Exactly, and it's pretty inexpensive, and also it's great for juicing because it yields a lot of juice
Good.
because that stalk is really bulky.
And what's in the pepper?
And the
Pesto's always
final pesto is a really garlicky one. I really like this one. It's my favorite.
You
I
don't
save
want
the
us
best
to
till
talk
last.
to anybody else the rest of the day.
Yeah, well, you're going to try this and you're going to love it.
Okay.
It's got garlic, and I use nutritional yeast. There's some walnuts in there to give it some body. And of course, there's olive oil. When I make my pesto, I use less olive oil than most people do in theirs.
That is really good.
That's my favorite. I save the best to last. So I use less
That
oil
pepper is
because
really good,
I
too.
like my pesto to have a little bit more of a kind of a dip kind of consistency, as opposed to being
There you go.
that's slick.
The pesto is very good.
As opposed to being runnier. I just think I really like to have less oil in the diet.
How much would you need of the garlic for a size about like that?
That's probably about 8 or 9 scapes.
Scapes.
So that would be, you could buy one bunch and make that
A
much.
decent
Wow,
sized
that's
pesto.
quite a bit.
Yeah, it is. Because remember, there's walnuts and things in there to give it bulk. You won't want just that.
Okay, now if people want to get the recipes for these,
They just give me a shout at info@fork-road.com. I'd be happy to share.
Now we have a drink here. Is this a
That's
garlic
to-
infused drink as well?
That's to
this
wash
is garlic.
it down.
Oh,
This
okay.
is garlic juice.
I didn't know this was like garlic lemonade or
No.
something.
That's so that if you were going to breathe on me, maybe it would like help it
help it
mellow out.
alleviate.
Well, hopefully you brought more than just this to wash this.
Well,
to wash the garlic.
as a
taste.
matter of fact, I have a little parting gift for each of you.
Something to keep in mind.
yeah,
that
there you go.
Garlic does look. I'm one of those when I eat garlic, it just emotes from my body. But you know what? I love it so much.
It's so good, yeah.
don't
And if
care.
everybody around you is eating it, it's all good.
That's excellent. Yeah, you can
so
actually
you have
eat
to share with everybody.
that stuff there. You can eat that by the spoonful. That's
Yeah,
how good it is.
it is really
but
good.
the bok choy, seriously, try the bok choy with it. It's really
yeah,
good.
that was really
It's
tasty.
Veggie Day.
That's awesome.
It's
It-
Veggie Day.
it
Eat
is
your
fresh
veggies.
Veggie Day. Mhm.
And go to the farmer's market to get it now because in July, garlic scapes are going to be
Yes, and thank you to my friends at Grade A.
Wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Yeah,
much.
you bet.
All right, we'll be right back. It is 9:23.